time. All right. Well, we will get this thing going. So I do like this to be interactive. So if you guys feel like you have questions, if you feel like you have follow-up questions, clarifying questions, please let me know, and I will make sure that we get that covered. But it's one of those things that this is probably not everyone's favorite subject. I'm kind of a weirdo. I love marketing. And then I want to introduce as well. We have a guest joining me, and that's Josh. He's our director of marketing at Gym Reinforcements. I just know the two of us could probably answer any Facebook ads questions you guys might have. But I always like to just get a second opinion or get
Jack, do we have any
uh,
Facebook?
so if you guys have questions, two ways you could do it. You could interrupt me and,
Do we,
and just
do we have?
ask it, or you can write it in the chat and we can answer it that way. So either one works, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and get this party started. All right. So today, what I would like to do is give you guys basically three things is my main objective that I want to teach today. So basically, it's Facebook ads crash course, how to avoid trash leads, because I'm sure that's everyone's frustration when it comes to Facebook ads. So just if you guys don't know me, gonna introduce myself a little bit. I know what you're going through because I myself am a gym owner. I at one point had 6 locations, and so now I'm managing 3. And so that is that. I also have a podcast. If you guys enjoy podcasts, it's called Fitness Empire Podcast with my buddy and co-host Matt Wilbur. We talk all things gym owner related. And so that would be a great thing for you to add to your podcast rotation. I also got a book over my shoulder, and in that picture, it is called Reinforce Your Gym. It was a Amazon bestseller. And so that is where I talk about my best strategies for marketing, sales, and leadership. And then finally, the reason I feel like I can help you today is our company, Gym Reinforcements, is a Facebook ads agency, and also we place sales reps into gyms. So all things gyms, that's my world, and that's why I love helping you guys out. So why listen to me? Why do I have a leg to stand on? Well, GR at this time is serving over 100 gyms, and we've collected $6 million for gym owners since the start of the company. And our marketing agency averages 75 leads a month per account. And so just a couple snapshots so you can see what I talk about today. There's proof in the pudding. This was an owner that we got $11 leads. Again, if you recognize this, if you've been an ads manager, they were getting $11 leads and just getting great lead flow. So that was that. It looks like they got 18 leads at that price point at the time of this snapshot. And then this one was 61 leads for just $2.30. That was a Moms Gone Strong challenge we were running for them. So that is essentially just a couple client results. I mean, we got those all day long. So that's why I feel like I got a leg to stand on. And then Josh is basically the guy driving that directing of that marketing agency, and basically is also a Facebook ads expert. So that's why I had him join the call. So my goal for today is to cover these 4 topics. Make sure you have a good, clear understanding of the 3 sections within Ads Manager. So if you've never set up an ad, you at least know, or if you have done it, there's probably some new updates that you're going to see in here that you don't know about. Then also understand what's the big decision that impacts your ad performance. We're going to talk about that. How to target so you get quality leads. Quantity is probably not everyone's goal if they're all unsubscribing the minute they opt in, or they're not responsive. And so how to get away from those type of leads. And then how to also better understand creatives, because your creatives have a huge influence on your lead flow, how many leads you get a day. And so we're going to talk about those 4 things. All right. So let's dive into it, guys. So first topic, the 3 main sections of Ads Manager. All right. If you've never been in there, basically there's 3 levels. There's campaign level, ad set, and then the ad level. So just for, an accurate representation, I'm actually going to open one up here. And so this is your Ads Manager, right? And so you come in here, there's all these different categories. You go to campaigns. And so when you hit the word create, and by the way, you can see the 3 tabs up here: campaigns, ad set, and ad. There's a lot of different options. So I want to just point out what we are seeing as the best options for a brick and mortar gym owner. So in my opinion, it's not going to be awareness. You probably don't got the budget where you're trying to just get people to know you exist and you're willing to spend money on awareness. Engagement, probably not looking to just have, conversations with people in your messenger. We don't do an app, and, sales, like, again, you got to have the ability to put conversion tracking. So it's going to be leads and it's going to be traffic are going to be where I would point you to. So a lot of gyms are using lead forms, and that's one of the easiest ways to pop up an ad on Facebook right now. So when you click that, you pretty much have made the big decision you got to make within campaign level. Campaign level is really about what type of ad do you want to set up. Then here we want to go into, they either have now tailored leads where they're going to basically look at the history of your account and see what type of business you are, what type of people you like to target. They're going to pretty much use some of the things that they see in past use of Ads Manager and just automatically set it up. But even then, I don't trust Facebook, so I always go with manual because I feel like their algorithm's wrong a lot of times. So that is where we're going to be setting up the second level, which is ad set. And that's where you're setting up like your targeting. So inside of ads, we're here in campaign, you got campaign, ad set, and then ads. So in campaign, we're really just picking what kind of campaign we're going to run. Traffic, you would select that if you wanted to point people to an actual landing page or website, and you're just trying to let the landing page do the work of converting them. Where in a lead form, your ad needs to do the work of converting them because you got to get them to trust you enough to put in their name, phone number, and email. Where on the traffic ad, you're sending them to a landing page. The landing page will convince them to give them their name, phone number, and email. So up to you. If you don't have landing pages, you don't have websites, you're definitely gonna go lead form. If you do and you feel like it's been, really done well, you can go to traffic. So once we do that, we're done with campaign. Next, we go to ad set. This is where you're putting in more targeting, right? And so I want to click instant form because that's going to give them a small little form to fill out with just name, phone number, email, and perhaps some questions. You can see here on the right, based on my targeting now, how much reach I would get, okay? And then I could come in here and I could pick, the name of my gym. So I'm going to just pretend to use, like my gym, Lead the Way Fitness. And so immediately you saw a change here. It was like in the 50,000s on that other gym I had selected, now into 22,000, right? So it does differ gym to gym, right? And so essentially what I want to come down here is make sure that I have my daily budget set up. Now, as a marketing agency, we don't actually take anybody if they're not going to do minimum $20 a day, but we're even thinking of raising it to $30 because you just need that amount to see something significant. And here's why. If you tell Facebook, I'm only going to give you $20 a day, but your cost per lead is $20, you're basically telling Facebook to only give me one lead a day. And a lot of owners get frustrated by this because they don't understand it. They're like, hey, I'm paying the $20 a day. Why am I not getting my 5 leads? Because your CPL is not $4, right? You have to understand where your CPL is and then do the math of how much money you need to put into the Facebook machine to get the amount of leads you want. And of course, we can do optimizations, and that's something that Josh and his team are good at, like how to get the CPL to go lower because people are clicking more on this ad. It has more unique creatives. We're testing a lot of different things. Like it could be that we're testing zips versus city, which I'm gonna get into in a sec. But essentially, there's ways that you can optimize it and get that CPL down. Now, can you reduce it by 80%? No, I know everybody would say, great, get my leads down to $5 a lead. You also have to consider your area, how much competition there is, how many other companies are running Facebook ads, how many other gyms are running Facebook ads. There's going to be a point where you are going to have to like kind of settle that is the CPL of your area. So that's something to think about. Is it's not that your agency is doing a bad job. It's not that, your marketing doesn't work. It just might be you've choked yourself out by putting such a low cost per lead down on your daily budget, right? So where we're seeing a little bit more success is gyms that are minimum doing $40 to $50 a day, and then definitely seeing amazing results at 100. So even Facebook is telling you it's kind of like range here. It's saying you're gonna probably see 3 to 17 leads a day, which 17 is a joke. I would never get $17 a lead on $20 a day ad budget in my area. But notice how when I change this to 50, my my expectation goes to 8 to 32. And if I raise this to 100, I'm getting 16 to 55 leads a day. So most owners want that, but they don't want to pay this. So the truth is, guys, like it's really not that bad. You figure even at $100 a day, if you had to spend $3,000 a month for marketing and your gym is packed out and you're getting a ton of people into your trial or your challenge, and you're probably going to make it back on your front end sale if you're priced correctly, and then you're definitely going to make it back on your back end sale. You shouldn't be fearful of spending more, but obviously you got to test and find a good working offer and add, and then raise the price accordingly. Um, so that's that. Josh,
One second.
yeah, I
I
was gonna,
want
anything you
so
want to chime in on?
we're so right here underneath the ad set level, we're talking about daily budgets. This is going to be your daily budget that you assign to the target audience that you want to do.
Yeah.
If you're trying to test out different target audience, let's say you're trying to figure out the male versus the female audience, you'll actually want to put your daily budget on the campaign level and do a campaign optimization so that way you're testing which audience does well. Now, if you want to like tell Facebook to put $50 towards female versus $20 towards male, you would do it on the ad set level. So there's those are the two different spots to put your daily ad budget, and they drastically will change the outcome. So if your whole entire goal is to get leads entirely and get opt-ins, and you're just testing out different audiences, I would recommend put it on the campaign level. But if you really know your audience and your persona, then you can definitely go down to the ad set level and start testing your kind of like offers and your creative that level. So
Got it. Got it. Okay. So down here is where you put in your age range. So obviously you guys don't want to be spending your money on 18-year-olds. You want to go above that. That's not going to be a good use of your budget. And so Facebook even has started like auto-populating the audience in, and I don't tend to go that route. I tend to put in my own custom audience. So I like to switch to original. Again, the marketers who work at Facebook will say, let it do its job, let it find your audience for you. But I guess I've just tried it too many times and have not seen the results I want. So you see how it changed here. Now I can put in that bottom and that top kind of like targeting range. So I'll say, okay, I want 28 to, let's say, whatever, 55. Now I could stop it from going up to, older population. The other one you saw, I only had my bottom block, which was 18, but it had no top block. So now I'm blocking on both sides because I do have an age I want to cap at and an age I want to go below, because I feel like 28 to 30 is kind of like the minimum I'd see people who have the discretionary income to afford coaching and hiring a trainer, like someone who usually doesn't have that, 21 years old, and that's okay. And then past 55, especially if you work with general pop, they just don't start to feel like part of the crew. Like they feel like they're like generations separated from who trains there. When they're in the room with a bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds and they're 65, 70, they just don't feel like these are me. This is not my group. And so they want to go and seek that. And so that's why they go find gyms where their audience is at. So you want to, again, know your avatar, because when you try to have everybody, you serve nobody. You actually push away people when they don't walk in and see a lot of people that are similar to them. So then of course here you could choose men or women. I tend to go women. And then something we've even been testing is just getting more and more in the detailed targeting. You can put in here things they're interested in. So you could put like, I used to put in here, I'd test The Biggest Loser. When that show was super popular, you see 16 million people are interested in it. Well, they're interested in fitness and fat loss. So like that could work, right? If you're targeting men, you could put in like Men's Health Magazine. Or you can go like super broad where you can just type in fitness and like physical fitness, but it's like it's 1 billion people. It's so broad, it doesn't really even tighten up your audience a whole lot, right? But there's like gyms in here that you could put in, like if they've clicked on anything with any of these gyms, Anytime Fitness, Crunch Fitness, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, at least you're getting people who are interested in fitness related stuff. So adding interest is not a bad thing, but it will shrink your audience. And this is where you want to split test. You want to go, like we call it more in the marketing world, broad. Like I'm not going to bog it down with interest. I'm actually going to just keep it broad. I'm going to say, just show this to all women 28 to 55. And then I might run a split test where I'll say, show it to women with fitness interests, 28 to 55, and I'll let them compete and I'll see which one yields better results. Maybe one gets you better lead quality, maybe one gets you more leads, right? And so that's essentially, some targeting that you can add in there as well. And then I think that's
I
pretty.
will,
Oh yeah, go
I
ahead.
will, I will also warn if you right there, that advanced detail targeting, Facebook always will put this on. This is another just thing. I always recommend uncheck that if you're building out your custom audiences and interests. You have to uncheck it and hit publish in the same scope. If you go next and then back, Facebook automatically adds it on. So
Wow.
if you are testing it, Facebook wants to do as many impressions as possible. Just make sure that's unchecked if you guys are building out your custom audiences, and you're not going like a broad audience. That just helps so much because it helps narrow it down. You get your true interests. So
Yeah. So that was this little checkbox right here that you're talking about. So yeah, so that is that. And then the final layer is where we get things are the funnest. This is what you actually come up with your creative, right? So you put in, you can attach it to your Instagram, and then you can put in the media. You're going to do a photo or a video, what kind of text are you going to do? What headline are you going to use? And then the call to action that by far tends to get the most clicks is the learn more button. I would say the second popular one is sign up, but definitely learn more because it's kind of like a soft close. You're just saying like, would you want this, right? So that's the very, basic overview. I wasn't going to go really any much deeper than that, just for the people who never have set up an ad, at least get you a baseline understanding. But more of I'd say like meat and potatoes of what I want to teach is back here on my doc. So before I jump to the next section though, was there any questions about the 3 layers of Facebook ads and anything you guys have questions wise about them?
Yep, Dustin, that's where the last one where you went, that's where I was having all my problems when I was doing it. That's where this wasn't working or that wasn't working, or when I was putting, I tried to make it simple, but a little bit more than just one picture. And there's one, two that I can't remember which one. One, I couldn't bring up a video. I had to make it a video, but could you go, I guess the question I have is, if you have the errors on there for the 9 different placements and you have 1 or 2 errors, if you still publish, would it still work, or would the whole thing be crap and not work?
You got anything on that, Josh?
it depends if it's a red error or an orange error. If it's an orange error, that just means you're not running on all placements. If it's a red error, then yes, it will not let you go through and you'll have to fix it. That's kind of like the 2 color codes. Because when you go to publish, they'll say orange. And then typically with orange, you can hit a checkbox and say publish with or try to publish. And then typically you can get through. It just won't run on all of the placements that you have, because there's a whole nother layer of targeting that you can check, like where you want your ads to go. And so depending on the format of the creative that goes in, you're typically going to get orange errors is what I call them. And so then they just don't fit everything, and typically you can publish and go through it.
Oh, that's great. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we will press forward. So now we're getting to some good stuff here, guys. So this is about the #1 decision that drives your ad performance. And so right out of the gate, I'll tell you what that is. And that is your offer. And so the offer is everything. You could put in this beautiful targeting and nice creatives and ad copy, but if the offer stinks, all of that was a waste of time. The offer is everything. And just because we're starting the month out, I actually got with our team at GR and I said, hey guys, we need to do an offer audit. Which owners do we feel like got a strong offer, and which owners do we feel like their offer stinks, and we need to give them that feedback because we care, we want to see them win. And that is how we look at things. So this decision is huge because it will dictate and impact your ad performance, your cost per lead, your cost per click, how viral it is, how many people want to share it or comment on it. All starts with the offer. Is it exciting? Is it eye-catching? Is it really drawing me in, or does it kind of get lost in the sea of all the other offers all the other gyms are doing, right? So here's something that's just old news, and I wouldn't tell everybody to get away from it, and that's offering days for dollars. Like, oh, I got an offer idea. We're going to run 21 days for this many dollars, or 7 days for this dollars, or 30 days for that dollars. Nobody wants to trade days for dollars. That sounds like a job, right? A job tells you, if you work these many hours, I will pay you this wage. No one's excited to trade days for dollars. That is not a compelling offer. It's not exciting. And that's something that runs rampant in the fitness industry. People are like, oh, I know what we'll do. We'll give them a special deal. We'll give them this many days of unlimited access for these dollars. Go around town and talk to real people that are not fitness freaks like us and ask and find out how many of them are excited when you tell them about this offer. Because well, you know what it doesn't translate is a result. That is what people really want, is they want a result. They don't care about days. They don't care about 7 days, 21 days, 30 days, 6 weeks. They're like, what result will I get from this program? That needs to be called out in the offer, right? So what I love, and we've committed to a GR, is creating offers that have a story, right? It doesn't even just have only result. It's a result with a story behind it, because that is your competitive advantage. No other gym in town's got it. They're just saying 21 days for $21, 7 days, $7. There's no story. It just sounds like the owner's going to give me this much time and take this much of my money, and sounds very much the bit in the business's favor, right? Nothing for the customer. So a story draws people in. So this is what I call your offer success checklist, that if you check these things off, bing, bang, boom, you're going to have a successful offer. Okay. So first, I'm a big believer in paid over free. Like you can pull out a free offer from time to time, but it should just be special. It should be like 4th of July week, Christmas, like, maybe the anniversary of your gym, some sort of free giveaway or pass, but like people who pay attention. And if you're running free stuff all the time, that's why you're getting trash leads. So offer a paid trial, make people put their money where their mouth is. This is the only industry where we are willing to work for free. I can't go get free food down the street. No one will change my tires for free. Nobody will let me stay in their hotel for free. Like everything I have to pay for, but in fitness, we're ready to give away our time that's very valuable for free. And that's a crying shame. So we need to get people to pay. And that will immediately stop your quantity problem and make sure you get quality, because they've put money down, and that means they're serious and they actually want to transform and change their health and fitness. Second, it has to speak to a specific audience. I see too many gym owners trying to service the youth and the middle age, and then also get your husband in here, Mrs. Jones, and oh, you could get your parents here because we got an older adult program. And you can't be world class at all that stuff, right? And your ads can't speak to all of them. So then it makes them get more watered, more generic, and then nobody really feels like you're speaking to them. But when I make a very specific offer to a specific audience, I am going to speak right to them, and they're going to feel like I know their pain points sometimes better than they know it. So it has to call out an audience, right? Next, it has to promise a result, or it has to solve a problem. And that needs to be in your offer. The next thing is, I believe there must be a start date. I don't think open-ended offers work very well in fitness, because if you let people decide between buying now or buying later, they'll always pick later. And later will just be a can. They'll keep kicking and kicking and kicking. But if you're like, hey, my program starts April 15th, are you in or are you out? It just makes people have to make a decision, right? And so I really believe that you can manufacture start dates, which means look at the calendar every month and pick 2 start dates. You're like, we're only going to onboard people on April 15th and April 29th, and that's it. I'm not going to take people all the time, because I have a program and it has a specific start date, and we do things systemized here. We don't have like an open door. People could start on a random Thursday. Are they really getting a great experience on that day, right? Like, no, like we know people do better when they start at the beginning of the week fresh. And then the final one is, it has a strong reason or story. Why are you doing this offer? That's the number one reason people even say, like, why is this being done? Why are you offering this discount? What's the point of this? And if you can't answer that question, like, oh, I'm just trying to get people through the door, again, you just start to sound like the business owner who's thinking about growing their business. You're not thinking about someone who's trying to create an impact. So these are our checklists that we go through with our offers. It has to be paid. It has to speak to an audience. It has to solve a problem. It has to have a start date, and there must be a reason or a story behind it. Otherwise, this offer is probably going to fail. And so if you look at 7 days for $7, it's low price. It doesn't speak to an audience. It's days for dollars. There's no problem it's going to solve. I don't have a start date, start anytime, and there's no reason behind me doing it, right? It literally misses the mark on all of these. So this is where, we want to, improve things. So I'll get into some offers that kind of check those boxes, but going back to our targeting. So something that I've noticed people have missed is we hear the other gym owners are doing 5 mile radius, 7 mile radius, but consider your geography. Like I own a gym that's right by the base of a mountain. When I do the 7 mile radius, half of my radius is targeting animals, birds, bears, like, just like there's no people there. And so I can't do the radius thing because it's not going to work as well for me. So, I mean, I've had owners that they're by a river, and if they do a 7 mile radius, they're targeting another city over the river, and they'd have to like come over a bridge and come train with them. So it's like they're wasting marketing dollars by opening up a circular radius around their gym. So is there anything near your gym that, opening up that radius is actually not going to be effective, right? So pay attention to that. Freeways or people that are going to be driving on this freeway near your gym from far away, is that going to negatively impact it? So that's the first thing when it comes to targeting is look at your geography. What's around you? Is it all just residential? Perfect. Open up a 7 mile radius, but you do got other options. So you can put in just a city. You can say, show this to people who live in Dallas, Texas. Or I could say, show it to people within a 5 to 7 mile radius around my gym address. Or I can enter in zip codes. I could say, I only want to show it to these zip codes. We've even had gym owners that are like, hey, I have a few communities that are wealthy around me, but I got one that's lower income. I'd like to not spend marketing dollars there because they can't normally afford my service. So this is how we can kind of dance around it, is by telling us what zip codes that you want to put in. So whether you're setting up your own ads or we're doing it, these are all the tools you have at your disposal. You don't have to just do one. And I like to split test because people say, okay, what's the best answer? Which one should I do? And the answer is to test, 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 as with anything with marketing. And so have the ads compete against one another. And the best way, like any science experiment, is you only change one variable. So it's a fair fight. If you change 3 things on this one and 3 things on that one, you don't know what variable made the difference. So in this example, I said, hey, you could set up the same ad copy. Maybe you change the creatives up a little. You have 3 different images so that they have some variety. But maybe you put like 2 of them you're going to do radius, where you're going to put a 5 mile radius, and then you're going to do 2 will have a zip code, and then you can compare and contrast and see which one does better. Now I would tell you things can get messy when you do tests like this, and all the leads are just getting dumped into your CRM. You don't know which ad they came from. So this is where putting your leads on a sheet comes into play, because I can say tab 1, I'm going to have all my radius leads come in, and then tab 2, I'm going to have all my zip code leads. And then I'm going to track them all the way through to a sale, and I'm going to see which one got me better quality leads, right? It's not just always about quantity, it's about quality. I can say which one I got more buyers, which one I got more quality leads. And that's how you take that split test all the way to the finish line. It's not just about changing images. It's also, you could change the targeting, and then you could track it all the way to sales and see who bought, right? So that is an example of, doing a changing of your targeting so that you can see which one is going to work better. Josh, anything you would add on targeting and split testing it?
Make sure you're running your testing for a minimum at least 3 days. Facebook likes an algorithm change for at least 3 days for 72 hours.
Yeah.
So don't just start changing things every single day. It takes about three days to set in. It's kind of like just a good benchmark to have.
Yes. We get antsy, and if things are not firing in a day, we immediately think we need to change our offer, we need to change our ads. But Facebook has told us that it does a learning phase of 2 to 3 days, and so you got to give it that much time to get into the algorithm and to find people, because basically what it's doing is it's starting to show it to people, and it's starting to notice who clicks on it, who stops and watches it, and who just scrolls right past it. And it notices who gets engaged by it, and it tries to find more people like that. But it takes time. There's only so many people that are getting it on its feed. And then again, something that could be throttling that is your daily ad spend. It's only going to show it to so many people with $20 a day versus $100 a day. So if you're in a lower budget, you got to be more patient for it to go through the learning phase.
Yeah, and I'll also be like, make sure you guys know the metric that you guys are going to test for, because I know we always get kind of caught up in like the lead volume and the CPL and things like that. That's at the very back end of the metrics. So if you're testing like a creative, right? If you're testing like an ad copy versus one versus two. So I know there's a comment about using AI for an ad build. So it's like you can use an AI ad build for copy one versus something that you wrote for version two, and then you want the image to be the same. How I would evaluate that is based off of click-through rate. So whichever one has the highest click-through rate is going to be the one that resonates the most with the same audience. So that's something that you need to measure against. So like there's different measurements. So for audience, I use like CPM, which is your cost per 1,000 impressions. It's how much you pay to get in front of 1,000 eyeballs, basically. Those are the different types of metrics per test that you want to really know and that you're justifying against. Now, ultimately, you want to do the lowest, and then the highest CTR will lead to lower cost per lead. But there's different numbers that go into those math equations to come through. So it's just making sure that when you set up that framework for the test, that you have your KPI that you're really focusing on.
Love it. Okay. So what are your thoughts on an AI building an ad? Have you seen that done well, Josh, or what are your thoughts on it?
I've seen it done well. I just make sure that you're always reading it and making sure that it's like it comes off as a natural voice and tone, because you know who your target persona is. You know what they're going to resonate with. Sometimes AI just spits out a lot of weird stuff, but I like using AI personally for like idea generators, because sometimes like we can just get so caught into it that we're like, what actually makes me stop the scroll? Because I mean, when we're buying on Facebook and Meta and Instagram, our entire goal is to get somebody just to stop, read, then take action. We don't want them to just swing by. So it's kind of like use that for an idea generator and test it. I mean, I'll always say like just put it into a test and see what happens, what works well for your area.
Yeah. All right. Well, final point I was just going to make is, from what I've seen, once you've tested radius and zip code and city, and you find the one that gets you the best results, that's usually the one you can use from that point forward. Like you have that data forever. I don't tend to see an account like change in 2 years that suddenly, zip code is working better than city. You just got to do the one, you got to do the testing in the initial phase, and then you'll have that data and you can pretty much set up your ads with that setup from that day forward. Josh, would you agree with that? Do you disagree? I guess, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree.
Okay. All right. So then we got other things here. We got your age range and your gender. I mean, this depends heavily on your model. Again, we got people who I've even seen like they start at 50 and go up for one-on-one personal training. I would say the majority of, coaching and fitness studios target the middle age, which is the 30 to 50 age range. Some of them might have an older adult program where they're doing 60 plus, 65 plus. Are you mainly targeting women? Are you doing co-ed with your ads? You have, men and women ads running. This is, all things you can set up on your targeting. In my opinion, the sweet spot for the majority of the fitness industry, it's basically the age range is 28 to 55, women only. Why do I say that? Not being sexist. I just think ladies buy fitness more. They stay longer. They have higher, retention and lifetime value. And my bias as a coach is they're more coachable. A lot of guys, will use you and lose you. They'll just get the result and then they'll bounce, and they have a shorter lifetime value. Again, as a coach, they might stay 3 or 6 months in a group coaching program, where ladies, I'll see 12 to 24. I mean, the longest client I had was 8 years. So that's again, I'm talking with the bias of group coaching, boot camp, CrossFits, that type of model. So that is that. Now, one other thing is on lead forms. I think this is getting missed a lot. There's a button when you're setting it up that you can literally select higher volume or higher intent. So I'm going to show that to you right here. When you're creating your form, right here, it says, do you want more volume? Use this to get people to be able to fill it out quickly and submit on a mobile device, or do you want higher intent? After they fill it out, they will have to review it, and it gives them a chance to confirm their information is correct. This is a newer one. They just added rich creative. Hold your audience's attention with this form. And basically it includes an option about us or product details. I think that's more for products, like who can kind of carousel through a bunch of products you offer. So for us, we're probably going to stay with these two. I would urge you, if you have a lead problem, like I kind of first listen to I don't like to generalize advice. I listen to the problems of the business. If you tell me I don't have enough leads, go with more volume. You don't have to, get away from that. But if you're like, oh man, we have so many leads and we get a lot of trash, go to the higher intent. And you see the switch that happens here, right here. I just got intro questions, privacy poly message for leads, higher intent. There's a review screen now, right? And so they make you review it and then slide this to the right. Not many kids playing on their mom's phone or accidental opt-ins are going to happen when they have to do another step after filling out their information and then they slide to the right. Basically, it's Facebook's way of trying to battle the feedback they're hearing from a lot of marketing companies and just companies in general is like, we're getting trash leads on Facebook leads, on lead forms. What's going on? And so they're trying to add more work to confirm it's a real person and a person that's actually interested with higher intent. So when you set this up, click higher intent. If you're getting too many leads and you're getting a lot of immediate unsubscribes, a lot of people saying not interested, it's like, why did you opt in? Well, screen them out with the higher intent setting, right? That's an easy way to do it. So that's that. You can set it up when you're setting up your lead form. And then the other option, if you wanted to, is you could add some custom qualifying questions. So I'll just go back in here real quick. The most common questions people kind of set up is they come in here and they go to user info and they get username first and last. And then we get the name, phone number, and email, right? So we can kind of, assemble it. So it's first, last, email, phone. Now, you probably have seen this if you've opted into something. If I'm on my phone and I click, next, Facebook auto-populates my name, my email, and my phone number from the one that I used to create my Facebook account, and then I press submit. So it's like tap, tap is how easy it is to opt in now. What we found is that there's a lot of people who made bogus, because then it'll save that data that you put in. Well, now if I make a bogus email, like I just put in John@Gmail, Facebook saves that, and now I can opt into everything I want, and it's making it even easy for me to use my bogus email and phone number because it saved my last bogus email and phone number. And so a lot of people have learned that they can get to the other side, they can see what's on the other side of the ad, just putting in bogus stuff. So what I would say is if someone's really interested, they'll jump through whatever hoops. I would add a custom question. So this is, contact info. And then you could pretty much set up under questions right here, custom questions, add a question. You can do a multiple choice, which to me, I don't like because it's just tapping. I just got to tap A, B, or C. So I'm not a big fan of multiple choice. What I like is short answer, right? And so essentially short answer, you can write things that people have to elaborate. So I could say, what is your main fitness goal? And then I could put in parentheses, please be specific as possible. So basically I'm encouraging you, elaborate, write a lot, because you know what it tells me? You're actually an engaged, high intent lead if you take the time to fill this out. Then I might put in here, like, have you ever worked with a trainer before, right? If I'm a coaching gym. So again, they could just put yes or no, but I'm hoping, that they give me a little bit more. I've even put in here, if not, why not? Like that way I'm encouraging more than a yes or no answer, right? And then the third could be, why are you motivated to start now? Why not 6 months ago, right? And basically that is a prompt to, like, something happened, like like your kid walked up and said, "Mommy, you look pregnant." She's not pregnant. Or I had to use a bigger size of my belt. Or my doctor said I got to get on high blood pressure meds. Something really emotional has happened to me recently, and I'm basically getting them to write that. So if you wanted to do the high volume, another way to add friction is to add screening qualifying questions to your form. Now people who put in name, phone number, email, even if it's auto-populated, if they take the time to fill this out, they're a much better lead for you. So I'm showing you how to get your lead flow lower, but your quality higher. And for some gym owners, this is exactly what they need. Others, they're like, I just need leads. I don't have enough. Then you want to remove friction then. You don't want the qualifying questions. You just want name, phone number, email. get that volume going. And then when you have too much volume or bad volume, you then add the friction points. So hopefully that's making sense for you guys. But yeah, add qualifying questions. And, you know, basically I follow the frustration. If you're like, I don't got enough leads, you need more. I have too many bad leads, you need to add more friction. So that's that. All right. Final topic for today, guys, is getting clear on your creatives. The best ads that we run or we see have very eye-catching creatives. Creatives are everything because you're competing with all the creators making stuff on the social media feed. You got their friends and family posting. And people are just like, they're just tapped out. They've consumed so much content. It has to really be something interesting. So, you know, basically, our team, we create stuff for you, but the best owners, they supply us with real content happening in their gym, because we can go get these stock images, but they don't really do the same, a result as a real picture from your gym of your clients all together or your coaches in action. So those we see are the best performing ones. These are some examples. I'm going to show you guys some ads that we recently ran. So drop pounds, get paid. I don't know what it was about this, but as a joke, I had our coaches kind of do the Charlie's Angels pose. That's one of our best performing ads. And, if you think about it, they're all younger girls. I think they're all sub 30. And so that every time I use it, for some reason, I get really cheap leads. And I just think it's kind of a fun photo to look at. So that one works great. This one is then more in action. So now they're coaching a client, and then these red banners, like what's the color on Facebook? It's blue. So sometimes if you want to interrupt it, you got to throw very different colors. So that's why I like the black and gold and the red, because like this just pops off the blue background that they're scrolling on, right? If your colors are blue and you're on blue, it's easy to kind of blend in, right? This is another one, there's me, but basically we're all doing a post-session huddle. And again, just clean, simple, not a lot of words. I've seen ads where they're just like tons of words, tons of bullet points. They're little small text, and it's visually not very stimulating. You want to put very just simple amount of information, not too much, right? So you notice on this last chance, early bird pricing, how easy is that for me to consume as a viewer, as a scroller, right? Begins April 1st, drop pounds to get paid challenge. Boom, understood, right? But when you put like, you'll get unlimited workouts, they're 30-minute sessions, you'll get a nutrition plan, you get an InBody, you're not actually getting people to read more, you're getting them to abandon more, because like, this is too much to take in right now. I'm not interested in this. So clean, simple, that's what works best on Facebook ads, right? Here's another one, 6-week challenge begins April 1st. So that was a drop pounds get paid. And so this is the 28-day Mom's Gone Strong. So again, this is pretty eye-catching. A mom looking like a healthy role model to her kids. This one was cool because it was all the generations, like the young gal, the middle age, and then their mom all flexing together. This is another one, it's pink now, so it's popping off the page instead of, on the blue. These are our, top performing images that I'm showing you guys. And, earlier I talked about offers that have a story. So this was one where we just said, hey, we want to help our community not only get healthy and fit, but we want to put out some cash prize. And so we kind of said, we're doing our own version of The Biggest Loser. We're going to have cash prizes on the line. We're going to take the registration fee and we're going to apply it and pay out the top 3 transformations with that pool of money. And I think we got almost up to $2,500. We're gonna break up over the top 3 transformations. So that was the story. And that's the thing people could talk about. Our coaches could talk about the clients. We could talk about it on our ads. On this one, we said, hey, Mother's Day is around the corner. We want to help moms look and feel their best for Mother's Day. So if you start training with us now, it's mid-May, you can accomplish that. And so we want to help our moms of our community get healthy and fit. But you notice there's a story I'm telling you, a story that you can remember, and then it's easy for you to tell someone else. That's a viral offer. But 7 days for $7 or whatever, 30 days for $30, it's not really going to be a story I'm going to go tell other people, right? It's days for dollars. We got to get away from that as an industry. So if you guys are like, thanks guys, this was all a lot of good stuff, but still not my favorite thing to do, you guys want to hand it off to us, totally understandable. I just want to give you the clear information about what we do, at GR Marketing. So we charge a $200 setup fee. Basically, what are you doing? You're doing an onboarding call with Josh. and you can basically pick what offer you want to run from our offer library. We have tons to pick from. If you have your own, we're happy to run that for you. But if you don't know what to do, we got stuff for you. We got to get access to your ads manager. We set you up with a Go High Level for just $1 a month. We found that to be a superior texting platform. If you have one you prefer, we'll use that. But if you don't, we recommend that. And then we also got to get to work designing your creatives, like to make sure they fit your brand and all that good stuff. So that is all covered in that $200 setup fee. From there, our service fee is actually, this was a mistype, $200 a week. And so what do you get? You get an experienced digital marketer. You get Josh overseeing that digital marketer, holding them accountable, looking at their stuff. Multiple split tests for every of our accounts. We're usually running anywhere from 4 to 6 split tests at once because we want to see how they compete with different images, different targeting, men ads, women ads. We have a support channel, Slack channel, where we'll basically talk with you there and get you, fast response time. And then we do check your ads daily. So essentially that's where we're going to be, looking at the ads and making sure that they're performing to our expectations and probably to yours too. So we do check them daily. And then, the final couple questions we get is, how long does it take to get started? It's anywhere from 2 to 3 days. Really, it depends on you and how quickly you get us content. A lot of times that's where we hit a snag, is the owner's taking a long time to send us images, videos. So get that done, complete your onboarding checklist, and we can get your ads live within 2 to 3 days. And then what's the commitment? It is 60 days, and then it rolls to month. And the only reason we do that is we just don't feel like it's fair to judge us off of 1 month. So we need commitment, just like you guys probably expect from your clients who are training with you at your gym, right? So special offer for you guys on the webinar is we are willing to give you guys your first month with a $200 off discount. All you got to do is mention that you saw that on this offer, the Facebook ads crash course, and you can message me. I'm pretty easy to find on Facebook and Instagram, or you can book a call with Kim from our team. Her website you can go to is just freecallwithkim.com, and then she can answer all your questions on there. So that is everything for today. So as a recap, my goal for you guys today was to just get a brief understanding of the 3 sections of Ads Manager, understand the big decision that drives your ad performance, which at the end of the day is the offer that you put on your ads. Learn how to, use the targeting to enhance the ads, and then how the creatives have to be clean and simple and eye-catching, and the colors have to pop off this blue background that they're scrolling on, and that will increase your lead flow. So hopefully this was worth your guys' time. I'll be sure to send you the replay. And if you guys got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. It was on this invite, or find me on Facebook and send me a DM there. All right. So I'm going to let you guys bounce. Appreciate you. And I'll talk to you guys soon. See you guys.